You can see in this guy the non-empathetic hollowness in his eyes, the coldness with which he carries himself, the anger and hate that build up inside of him. He shows telltale signs. A sociopath that just has no empathy. He planned, wholly calculated, without the value the meaning of people's life. This guy was self-absorbed, self-obsessed with his own thoughts, his own greatness, his own beauty, what he thought of himself. This guy was living in his own world. Why his parents did not see this, I don't know. But this guy was totally self-absorbed. He thought he was the man of all men. So he calls himself the alpha male. But there's a lot more to being a man than sex. There's a lot more to being a man than women. There's a lot more to being a man, mourning the loss of people that died. But there are plenty of telltale signs. If you listen to this guy talk, his speech tells it all of an empty childhood, loneliness, not just starting college, but in his younger years, being bullied, being hated, being degraded, being demeaned. But there are a whole host of telltale signs here. Why somebody didn't notice it. I never saw the video before today. I never wanted to see the video. But there are plenty of telltale signs here. It talks about the darkness of human life. It's always the darkness of human life. It's always someone else's fault, someone else's responsibility, someone else's guilt. Everybody else is guilty and he's innocent. So he's going to take his retribution out of those that he feels within his self-absorbed mind that he's guilty, that they're guilty. They're to blame for his inadequacies. They're to blame for his unavailability to women, for not having sex. When he mentions most sex, this guy could be part nymphomaniac. I don't know. But there are telltale signs here that should have been noticed. It should have been thought of. If you listen to this video, it runs about 6 minutes and 56 seconds. This guy talks about himself like he's some kind of god, almost like godlike. That's really a powerful drive, a powerful. Something happened to this kid. I don't know what, but something happened to this kid. I mourn the loss of the children, people killed. But something really went wrong with this kid. Something went wrong in his childhood. He was demeaned at his home, demeaned by his parents, demeaned at school. Hated, bullied, bigoted. It doesn't take much. But this guy is completely absorbed with his own life, his own love. This guy was so much in love with himself, it's a wonder he didn't kiss himself in the mirror. He might very well have. But this is not a joke. This is the truth. There are telltale signs here. There are telltale signs here. And the way he walks, with the coldness he walks, with the coldness of the stare, with the way he talks. He talks almost in two terms. It almost says two verses. It's hard to understand that. Well, I was this, I was that. Women do this, women do that, didn't do that. Women didn't want to date me. It's almost like he's talking in the second person, like he stepped out of his body to see things that are really there, to hate, to blame others for his own self-absorption. And he had a very cold attitude, he had a very cold demeanor. This is not a good sign. We can talk that cold, make that kind of video, and have it blasted all over YouTube. Fortunately, I just saw the video today. But I would have warned people about this kid. Because there are telltale signs. There are telltale signs. The kid shows no empathy, no remorse, no feeling about other people. He talks in a one-person form, in one person, like he's stepping outside of his body. Could he have been a sociopath? Yeah. Could he have been a sociopath? He very well could have. But he had the sadistic side of it. Just convinced himself that the whole world was against him, that the whole world sided against him, that the whole world was against him. Living a lonely life is lonely, but you can't become self-absorbed, that you think you're better than everybody else, that you know more than everybody else, that everybody else should bow to your needs, should bow to your care, should care about you. You have to treat people with feeling. Now, what happened to this kid, I don't know. But there are telltale signs. There are specific, very specific telltale signs. I understood he wrote a manifesto, like Unabomber. When you become so self-absorbed that you hate the world and you hate all around, he sees only darkness where there's beauty. He sees only death where there's life. And it's not good. It's the sadness of human life. He must have been a very lonely child. He could have been an abused child. He could have, like I said, anything could have happened in the household. What? I don't know. Did the parents fail? Once again, parents cannot always be responsible for everything you do. At some point in your life, you have to take responsibility for the way you act, the way you behave, and the way you feel, the way you live. This guy was totally, completely in his own world. It's if you listen to him talk, as he's talking to these videos, he's stepping out of his body. It's like he's stepping outside his body to make this speech, this manifesto that he made. I didn't get a chance to read it. So. But if you listen to this kid, he's talking within himself and not out. And when he does talk out, it's in hate, it's in riddles, it's in blame, it's in guilt. That's the way it is. What set the kid off? I don't know. But apparently this has been building for years. This guy has low self-esteem. I assume his IQ is very minimal at best. He was going to school. He's probably having problems with his grades. Probably having problems in mixing with other people. And it's really hard to deal with. It's hard to accept. But that's the truth. That's the untold story. That's the untold truth. It's the untold fact of human life. This guy was non-empathetic. Was he a sociopath? Wasn't a psychopath. He was more like a sociopath than he was a psychopath. But somebody had to have picked up on this. Somebody had to have picked up on this guy's video. Why somebody didn't say something? But his hate for women is great. He figures women are responsible for his failure of manhood. Like sex is everything. And at that age, we all thought about sex. We all thought about having sex. But not everybody gets lucky to have sex every day, to be with a woman all the time. But you have to deal with it. And he didn't seem like he wanted to deal with the realities of life, or with the misery he had built around his own world. And there are plenty of telltale signs here for this guy. There are plenty of telltale signs. There are plenty of telltale signs. You'll just have to look. The glassy eyes, the coldness of his voice, the stability of the coldness and hate that was in his voice. He was driven by hate of women, because women rejected him. He thinks women rejected him. Women didn't reject him. Yeah, he got women just didn't want to go out with him, because he had a cold demeanor. He has a non-empathetic demeanor. This is the human truth. This is the first videos I've ever done of this guy. But from what I can gather, this guy definitely had a mental problem. And it didn't start just when he started making videos. This has been building over a lifetime. Now, did his parents ridicule him? Did people ridicule him? Was he bullied at school? Was he bigoted? Was he hated? Was he beat up? These are the things that are all going to have to be investigated before this case can be closed. But you gotta mourn for the people he killed. You gotta mourn for the people he killed. Because they were the innocents. They did not know that this guy was a ticking time bomb. Non-empathy. And that's the human truth. That's the human fact. That's the human view. This is the 7 Billion Human Being News. Thank you for watching.